Hey my thrifty friends, Tabs here from the Urban Goddess Shop. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm so excited because this is the first time I have ever done this. I'm going to do a year recap. I'm going to share all the data, all the analytics. I went into Posh, into the seller tools, and wrote down all the data that I think would be valuable to share, and then also just giving more transparency into my business. Now, today's recap is just going to be about Poshmark. That is the main portion of my business, so I felt like it was probably the most important to cover. If you are new to my channel, I'm a Canadian reseller. I'm a mom to 2 girls, a wife. I work part-time in a hospital pharmacy, and I sell used clothing. And here on YouTube, this is my little part where I share my journey, everything about my business. Make sure you give this video a like and tap subscribe so you can join the crew and you don't miss out on any of the great content. We are jumping into this. First of all, can I say happy holidays? Happy New Year. We're going into 2023. We are leaving 2022 behind and we are heading into a new year. This is where I like to wipe the slate clean and move forward with new goals, whether it's business or personal. I am going to be doing a video soon on goal setting for your business just in time for the new year. So stay tuned for that. You guys are all here for one thing. You want to know my numbers, and I'm cool with that. Okay, we're going to start with some of the big stuff. We're going to go over my gross numbers, what I think my net is. I obviously have not calculated the net, but I know what my net percentage is typically, how many hours a week I work on my business, what my hourly rate is. We're going to go over my top selling categories, how many listings I have sold, what is my average ASP for the year in women's and men's categories, percentage of my sales that are offers to likes, bundles, things like that, how many listings, and then cover the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, everything that happened this year, because there is so much to unpack. I feel like this being like my second complete year reselling, it's been a roller coaster, like nothing like the first year. The first year was just like smooth sailing. Everything was fantastic. And this year it's been all over the place, but I'm here for it. I love reselling. I love you guys. I love this community and I'm in it for the long haul. Okay. Are you guys ready? My gross year to date, and keep in mind this video is being recorded on December 13th because I have had to record all my videos before Christmas. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks and will not be able to record while I'm gone. So year to date gross sales are $43,309.50. I can't believe I just said this on YouTube. I can't believe I just like put this out there. I don't normally talk about my numbers. Reason being is people want full transparency on things, and there's things about it that I just don't share. So there are things that I keep to myself. What I can tell you is from doing my taxes the last 2 years and submitting all the information to my accountant, typically my net is 50% based on the last 2 years. I will say I spend pretty heavy reinvesting into my business. So I'm hoping to see this go up to 55 to 60% in the next few years. But right now it is what it is. This left my net with $21,654.75. I'm impressed with that. I'm actually good with that. I work typically 12 hours a week on my reselling business. And I know there's people that are probably like, no, you don't, you do more. I promise you, I don't. I work 24 to 36 hours at my hospital job. I do Poshmark for like 10 to 12 hours a week. And then I do YouTube for probably 8 to 10 hours a week. This kind of all equates to actually more than a full-time job, but I'm a pretty hard worker. I work on processes and I also take weekends off. If you follow me on Instagram, you know, we're a busy family. We are gone every single weekend. In the summer, we're going to the lake, and in the winter, we're heading out to the mountains. And this is just the lifestyle that we've chosen and what we value that's close to us. I knew when I started reselling that reselling could not be my entire life. I had to have balance between my business and my personal life. And for me, it was just figuring out processes, getting everything so that it was wash, rinse, and repeat, and I could work as efficiently as possible. Let's go back to I work 12 hours a week reselling. Estimation. I do feel like some weeks it's far less than that. That put me at 676 hours a year. That's how many I spent working on my business this year. I'm working, like when I take my net divided by the amount of hours I spend on my business, I am working for $32 an hour. That's pretty good in my books. I'm okay with that. My goal is probably over $25 an hour. And then obviously the more money I can make an hour, the better. I mean, that's all our ultimate goal. I definitely have room for improvement, and that's going to be part of my goals for 2023. Okay, now I'm going to have to go through my notes. On Poshmark, I sold 949 items. My top 3 categories. Number 3 is vintage. I love selling vintage stuff, although I feel like I've sold a lot less vintage sweaters this year than I had in previous years. And the vintage category was a total of $5,267.99. Not too shabby, considering I haven't sold that many vintage sweaters this year. Like, I'm kind of on the slow side for this winter, and more of that is just sourcing. I haven't been able to source as many good quality vintage sweaters like I was last year. Aritzia is my second brand for a total of $6,486.06. This brand will also blanket like Wilfred, Babaton, TNA, Tallulah, a Goldie I would probably put underneath there, and Denim Forum. It does blanket other brands, but I tend to list everything under Aritzia. And my top selling category, I don't know if you guys know this, if you watch my thrift hauls and my what solds, you can probably guess, it is Lululemon, and the dollar amount that I sold of Lululemon is $7,170.83. That's pretty good. Like, my top 3 categories actually produced about $18,000 in sales. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to continue to try and source and sell these brands just because they continually prove to me that they are good brands to carry and that people are still buying them. This is the difference between my next 2 brands, which are runner-up brands, and then like the rest of the brands that I sell. The next 2 brands would be Levi's at $2,160.82. And I would say this probably goes to like wedgie jeans. I sell a lot of wedgie jeans. It's something that I'm able to find readily in my area, and I feel like they hold a pretty good value. The next runner-up would be Free People, and the value for my Free People items was $1,837.50. So those are my top 5 categories: Free People, Levi's, Vintage, Aritzia, and Lululemon. I would definitely recommend these brands. I would definitely recommend doing your research on these, knowing what types of items to be looking for, what are their top selling styles, colors, material contents, things like that. I would also probably sign up for these brands' email lists and find out when they're putting out new stuff, what are the current trends, because these brands help set the trends that are happening in the season. Okay, now we're going to go on to the next one, and it was my average sale price. This is something I have worked so hard on over the years, and I can remember back to some of my earlier videos where I would talk about my average sale price being like $15, $16, $17, and I was so excited when it started to climb over $20. I don't know if I ever anticipated being able to hit the ASP that I have now. So if you don't know what ASP is, it's your average sale price. I don't think I saw it transitioning to this by the end of this year. It has been a goal of mine, but yeah, it has been a growing process. it's not, I don't want to say it's a lot of work, but it definitely takes more effort to find and source higher ASP items, to do brand research, to know what's trending, and like kind of sorting through what has value and what doesn't. That has been a learning process, but I'm always sharing everything with you guys. So I hope that you are also able to grow your ASP if that is the goal of your business. I know lots of people have like, you know, quick flip, low ASP, and they're cool with that. They are volume sellers. It just doesn't work for me. For me to maintain my 12 hours a week or like 10 hours a week reselling, I need higher value items when I'm outsourcing. Okay, so my ASP for women's is $45.93. That is awesome. Like, that is awesome. I'm so stinking proud of that. The average price that I list items for is $71.40. If you look at that, typically I am giving a 30% discount off of my listing price. And I talk about this often in my What Sold videos. I price so that I can give people a good discount. I feel like people don't always necessarily look at what the starting value is, but if you send them an offer, that's all they want. And as long as that offer, I'm still meeting my profit margin, I'm okay with that. And it's like finding those items consistently that I'm paying this, that I'm selling for this, and my profit margin is this. That's the ultimate goal. For men's, my average sale price was $40. It's a little bit lower. I don't sell a lot of men's stuff, and men's items that I usually sell, I have sourced for Jeff, and it either didn't fit him or he didn't like it, and that's where I end up selling them. So yeah, I would say definitely my women's average sale price is higher. I could grow my men's if that was a category that I was interested in selling more of, which at this point, I'm not really looking to grow my men's side. Currently, I have 474 listings. This is higher than what I used to have. I think at the beginning of the year, I kind of floated around 350, and I've slowly been working my way up. Now, I don't think this is necessarily 474 excellent items. I do think that there's a lot of bottom items and I need to get those cleared out. That'll probably be my goal for January, February, is to start going through my inventory and pulling out items that I've just had forever. Maybe create some bundles, take them buy, sell, trade. I mean, I would go to buy, sell, trade first, and then I would go to donation route, obviously try and get some money back into my business. But yeah, I got to go through some listings. I think this is probably more around a 400 listing closet of items that I think of really have value. Out of the sales that I made, they give you that pie chart and it kind of shows you how the sale was made. 20% of my sales this year were made from bundle offers, and that is actually down from last year. So if I think back to last year, I want to say my bundles were probably 70 to 75% of my total sales. I used to push a lot of bundles, but I think it worked well when the ASP was lower. Now that my ASP is higher, a lot of times people are getting an offer to like, and 74% of my sales were from offers to likes. So when I go into my strategy and my videos, I feel like what I'm doing is actually working. I do have my automation set up to automatically send out a 20% offer to anyone. I run sales once a month where I'm doing 40% off. Sometimes I send out 30% offers, on the weekend when I feel like the app is really busy. But I definitely have different strategies that I've tried. And I'll be the first to say something that works one week doesn't always work the next week. So I am always switching up how I'm doing things. I feel like that has also helped me find success. I know that you cannot always do the same thing. You do have to mix it up. People's buying habits change, seasons change, what they're looking for changes, right? I think there's a different method for every moment, pretty much. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, because it's making sense in my brain, but I don't know if it's actually making sense coming out of my mouth. All right, so that is the data from my seller insights. I also want to talk about, maybe the ups and downs of this year. I feel like we've gone through a lot. Going into the beginning of the year, it was so strong. Sales were so strong. I felt like I had Poshmark dialed in. I knew how to make sales. It was consistent. I had, 2 or 3 no sale days a month, but I was doing really well. Then they started to make some changes, and I wasn't in the first group of people that was affected. I remember back in spring, there was a group of people that were just saying, what is going on? It's like my closet has been shut off. I don't understand. And I was just like, I'm still making sales. I don't know. Maybe it's something you're doing. And that truly was my thought at first, because I never thought that they would change the background of the app. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, they must be doing something wrong. The sellers must be doing something wrong. And then it happened to my closet, and I was shook. I was shocked. I was shook. I was upset. I was angry. I went through a lot of emotions this spring, because this was my side hustle. This is my side hustle, and Poshmark is my main source of income. Now, they did have like a news update in the summer. I think we had a couple fireside chats that didn't go very well. Then they did an update then they did a live chat where they finally admitted that, you know what, they had been doing some testing in the background. They were trying to make algorithm, they were trying to make changes that would make the app better. But I think a lot of people were frustrated at that point because we had been told to like just work harder, do our research, and then it came out that it really had nothing to do with us. That was probably the point where I really disconnected from Poshmark, and I used to do a ton of Instagram promotion stuff for them. Like I was always promoting them. I would do content that they would share on Poshmark Canada. But at that point, I felt like my trust was really broken. And I don't want to say that it can never be rebuilt, but I think they have to start making some changes in the app for me to feel confident and I think happy with creating content that for them. I'm still kind of not happy with them as an app, and I am not a Poshmark employee, so I can say whatever I want. I'm entitled to my own opinion. I know some people in my videos have felt that I've been really negative and I've been complaining a lot, but honestly, it took me 2 years to find my voice on YouTube. It took me 2 years to feel comfortable to share my thoughts and not feel like I was going to be attacked, and to feel like, you know, people understood what I was saying, or that it was a safe place for me to say my thoughts. And I'm still going to share them. And I hope that at some point I don't feel as jaded about Poshmark, but there's a lot of days where I'm just frustrated with them. And that's the truth. And I feel like that's relatable as well, because so many people are feeling the same way. And I don't ever want to be that person that's like, you know, rose-colored glasses, that's just like pretend, you know, create a facade that everything is perfect and my business is perfect. And that's not the truth. I really don't care if my business is perceived as successful or not. What I care about is providing value to you guys and to share my experience, and hopefully we can work together and share our ideas and grow our businesses. So that being said, a lot of things have happened this year. As for my business, I feel like it's done pretty well despite all the ups and downs with the app, the algorithm, the search, live shows coming in and really having an impact on sales. But at the end of the day, I'm quite happy with what my shop has produced. And if I look into what I'm putting into it, there have been also times where I haven't been as consistent listing as I was in previous years. And I'm just getting better at giving myself grace. Now, some of the things I've done with the money from my business is I've been able to pay the bills at our mountain property, which it is like a full functioning house. We have to heat it. It has water, power, you know, property tax, everything going on there. I was also able to purchase a downhill mountain bike that cost $2,500 this year. It was so crazy, but I needed a good quality bike for all of the outdoor stuff that we wanted to do and things that we're planning for the future. I've also invested some money into my YouTube channel, and that's actually taken a big chunk of my proceeds, but I'm okay with that because that turns into tax write-off for my business. So right now I've pulled some money out personally, but I'm really trying to reinvest quite a bit of money back into my business, into growth, and not necessarily the reselling portion of my business, but now into the media portion of my business. And while we're here, we're actually going to quickly touch base on like Instagram and TikTok. So I used to do a lot more content on Instagram, and then I would transfer it over to TikTok. But in Canada, we don't qualify for the Reels bonus or for the TikTok, what the heck do they call it? The money that they pay to people that create content. Creators Fund. Yeah, so when I kind of learned that they don't put Canadians into it, and it doesn't look like it's coming in the foreseeable future. I know people talk about it, but until I see it actually in writing, I had to focus my content and my energy into an area where at least I was going to be, monetized or rewarded for the content that I was putting out. So that's kind of taken me to YouTube, which is a whole nother side of my business. Over the last year, I feel like I've shared a lot of things out here in the space, and I just want to say thanks for being there. Thanks for listening. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being a part of my life. You guys don't know this, but I talk about you often. I read comments to Jeff. I talk about you guys to my friends. I don't know. I absolutely love everyone here, and I cherish all of the moments that we have with each other. And I truly believe the comments are where it's at. That is the big value in the videos. So yes, I just want to say I love you guys. You know I do. I say it all the time, but you need a moment, and you guys are the best. All right, I'm gonna transition now into my business goals. My goal is to continue to grow my brand knowledge and my sourcing methods, and hopefully continue to raise my ASP. When I raise my ASP, I would also ideally like to spend a little bit less time on my reselling business. So again, it's going to be tightening my processes. I think I need to set timers. I can list very efficiently when I want to, but trust me, I have my days where I'm on my phone scrolling. Jeff comes home for lunch. I just don't get the amount of work done that I want to get done. And then I've also prioritized time into YouTube, so creating YouTube content. I think I can get my hourly wage up to $40 next year. $40 an hour is my new goal. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a goal setting video coming out in the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned for that. We are going to set some business goals. We are going to get smart about it, and we're going to revisit this a year from now and see if we have made an impact on our business. Another thing that I kind of realized this year was growing a business required scaling up. And this was something I struggle with. So scaling up usually requires more inventory, more time, or a hired employee. And at this point, I just don't know if scaling my business up is what I want to do in volume wise. And I think that's where I kind of lean to more of raising my ASP. So maybe not quite going to designer, but really finding those higher dollar, higher value brands, the brands that people are willing to pay for, the brands that are harder to find used. And I know there's like a whole slew of these. I just have to do my research. So that is probably one of my big goals for my business for next year, is to grow that brand knowledge. All right, I think this is it. This is my year end recap. This is all my numbers, all my thoughts, everything that I have to share about Poshmark. I'm really excited about next year. Like, I just want to put this out there. I know sometimes it probably seems like I'm gonna quit or I don't love Posh, and I do. It's just a love-hate relationship, but I honestly am excited for next year. I'm excited to see what happens with Naver. I'm hoping that buyout still happens. I could be naive. I know a lot of people are like, don't say that. It could get worse. It could get worse. But then there's like times where I'm just like, could it get worse than what it is right now? And it's hard to say, is this, app inefficiencies? Is this the market? Like, there's just so much stuff going on right now. I'm just hoping that in the new year, we're able to get the search figured out, get the live show figured out, how it fits on the app, and maybe get the algorithm back working how it used to, instead of this sporadic on-off stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about. I think it's still going on. So yeah, I just hope in 2023, it goes back to the old Poshmark. The one we used to love, Poshmark. The one that was our friend, Poshmark. The one that made us money, Poshmark. That's what I'm ready for. All right, guys, I am wishing you a happy holidays. I would love to hear some shout outs about your business. How was your year? Drop it down. Send me a paragraph. I will read them all. What is your 2022 recap? You don't have to share numbers. You can just share details, shout outs, whatever you want. But I would love to hear how you did this year. I am heading out of here. I'm wishing you all many sales heading into 2023. And we're going to do this. It's going to happen. 2023 is going to be our best year yet. Bye!